everybody, this is Jedi Master Lawrence, and after discussion on EBN last night, the 20th, for Coach's birthday stream, a lot of us were confused on the timeline of where Asoka's fitting in right now, so I lost some sleep and spent some time trying to research perhaps where it could be in the timeline, and that night actually did Thrawn's timeline, based on Timothy Zahn's books all the way through basically right before the end of Rebels. So, and possibly even past that into Legends books with having to do with Survivor's Quest. So hopefully this could make sense. I have a link down to the description of what I found within the last... I had already found some information before, but what I found last night and early this morning. So if you want to look at it, go ahead. But I'm going to, and everything in that thing, it also has links to where I found the stuff. A couple of it is Reddit posts because that's how I did it. And that, so anybody who is the Reddit post, the original Redditors, I shout out for you. Everybody else, there's articles in there because from various places. So, and like including Wikipedia, not Wikipedia, Wikipedia, Star Wars fan site. So here we go. I'm going to be reading it basically directly from my document that I made. So be patient with me. All right. So the Thrawn timeline, all 13 books. So if you didn't know there was 13 books, there are actually 13 books. Thrawn Ascendancy 1 and 2, Chaos Rising, Lesser Evil, and Greater Good. And there's also in between there is another book in Legends called Outbound Flight. And then we have the Thrawn book, which is in there. Then we have Thrawn Treason and Thrawn Alliance. There's Thrawn Alliance comes first. Thrawn comes first, Thrawn Alliance, and then Thrawn Treason. And then we have the Heir to Empire trilogy. And then we have the Hand of Thrawn duology. And then we have Survivor's Quest. So those are all 13 books written by Timothy Zahn. And I will go through the timeline as best as I could figure out, including there. And if you happen to go to the doc, there is on the top, there is in parentheses, there's color coded on where it was in the timeline. So black is basically going to be that we can confirm generally. There's no full confirmation, but it's a guesstimate based on other things. So Thrawn was born in 59 BBY. If you don't know what BBY is, it is Battle before Battle of Yavin, which is Star Wars Episode 4. Thrawn Ascendancy occurs Chaos Rising, Lesser Evil, Chaos Rising, Memories 1 through 2. Thrawn Ascendancy, Lesser Evil, Memories 1. Thrawn Ascendancy, Chaos Rising, Memories 3 through 4. Where did I go? Thrawn Ascendancy's Lesser Evil, Memories 2. Ascendancy, Chaos Rising, Memories 5 through 8. Ascendancy, Lesser Evil, Memories 3. Chaos Rising, Memories 9. Lesser Evils, Memories 4. Thrawn Ascendancy, Chaos Rising, Memories 10 through 13. Lesser Evil, 5 through 11. Now, I want to give you information on the memories. Memories is basically Thrawn looking back on his life before the main part of the books that these are occurring and is happening. So, that being said, this is where we can get a general idea on after Thrawn Ascension Lesser Evil Memories 5 through 11 on where in the timeline, it's a full Star Wars timeline about where it could be. Outbound Flight, which is a Legends book, occurred 27 BBY, about halfway between Star Wars Episode 1, aka Phantom Menace, and Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. It is somewhat mentioned in the Thrawn Ascendancy book. I think it is in Memories 5 through 11 about a ship that they had found that had crash landed with, they think, with no survivors. This could be Outbound Flight, but there is no confirmation fully on if it is or not. And then we get to back to Thrawn Ascendancy, Lesser Evil, Memories 12. Greater Good, Memories 1. Okay, Chaos Arising, chapters 1 through 16, chapters 18 and chapter 17. This is basically the first book, I believe, in the Thrawn Ascendancy trilogy, which is the newer Thrawn trilogy books. And then we have a pause, and we're jumping to the quote-unquote middle Thrawn trilogy, which was occurring during between in the middle of the Clone Wars and Episode 3. But part of the book, and then also into right before Episode 4, which is New Hope. It pauses here because it's in Alliance, and it's the prologue chapters of 2, 4 through 7, 4 through 7, 10 through 11, and 14 through 15, and then 18 through 19. And the epilogue 1, which this is, of course, occurs in 20 BBY near the end of the Clone Wars, just before Revenge of the Sith. And then we're going back to the Thrawn Ascendancy with Chaos, chapters 19 through 23, Greater Good, Memories 2 through 7. Now we're back to Memories. This is usually pretty good. And then we are going back to Greater Good, chapters 1 through 25, Thrawn Ascendancy, Lesser Evil, Prologue, which is the third book. And then Thrawn Ascendancy, Greater Good, chapters 26. And then Lesser Evil, chapters 1 through 29, and then the epilogue. And then we have, and the epilogue, I believe, occurs right around Revenge of the Sith-ish, or just before Revenge of the Sith, or just after Revenge of the Sith. And then, because Thrawn gets exiled from his people, the Chiss Ascendancy, and that so. And then we jump to Thrawn, which is the middle trilogy that occurs a few years after Revenge of the Sith, and up to Rebels Season 3, which is 2 BBY. And then here we're going to pause temporarily because this is where it's starting to get confusing with the Asoka, full Asoka timeline. Rebel Season 2, the Asoka Vader battle occurred in 3 BBY. And then Asoka goes missing for 2 years. So this is how this is tying to the Asoka timeline about soon. And then we don't go to Thrawn Alliances. The rest of the book after the Battle of Antolon from Star Wars Rebels, which is in 2 BBY, which is probably Season 3, in the middle of Season 3. And then we have Thrawn Treason, which is the middle book in the new Thrawn, the middle Thrawn trilogy, which is set before the final of the Star Wars Rebels, between Star Wars Rebels episode The Rebel Assault, Family Reunion, and The Farewell in 1 BBY. Ahsoka returns. We think what is during the World Between Worlds scene between Ezra and Ahsoka. We don't know if this was actually occurred in 1 BBY or if it occurred back in 3 BBY. So either is Ahsoka, no matter what, Ahsoka has been missing for 2 years. And then we have Rogue Rebels Epilogue after 4 ABY, which is Hera and her son. or it could be 5 BBY. There's an ABY. There's no confirmation. And then between 9 ABY and 11 ABY with Sabine and Asoka, which in the Rebels was Asoka the White. And of course, Asoka the White did not appear until after her and Sabine met up. So this is now where it gets confusing. Now we are done with the canon books, because we are going to the Legends books, which is the Heir to the Empire trilogy, which is what Ahsoka's is being referenced in. Ahsoka is taking the place, replacing the Heir to the Empire trilogy, which occurred in, according to the extended timeline, EU timeline, the Legends timeline, occurred in 9 ABY. So I found some middle ground and figured that technically when Ahsoka is happening, the quote-unquote Ahsoka the White, or whatever it is, occur and into Mando season 10, possibly. Mando season 3, or Book of Boba Fett episode 5, which was also known as Mandalorian season 2.5, occurred. Maybe I'm stretching with the new canon. Filoni's wacky thing is 10 ABY. So we're finding middle ground, but technically this is supposed to be occurring during 9 ABY. And then we jump 10 years for the Hand of Thrawn duology, which actually the Thrawn Prime does not show up in this, because it is actually clone of Thrawn, which occurred in 19 ABY. And then clone Thrawns are gone, but in order to wrap up from what happened actually with with Outbound Flight, we jump to Survivor's Clutch, which occurred in 22 ABY, which roughly would put Luke and Leia at being around in their 40s. So if you can put this, and of course during the Discord chat and watching the episode 6 thing, we figured out that Thrawn is actually in his 70s. So that is around 9 ABY. Thrawn would be in his 70s. So hopefully this helps. And this is from the Thrawn timeline extended. So this should make a little bit more sense. But still, we have no idea what happened to Ahsoka between 3 ABY and 9 ABY. So we are 2 BBY and 9 ABY. So who knows what's going on? Apparently she was supposed to train Sabine, and yes, I can understand why Ahsoka was somewhat. I can somewhat understand why Ahsoka was dealing with the trauma with Anakin, but if what appears to have happened, that Ahsoka the White is actually after the Book of Boba Fett episode where Mando came and visited Luke and Grogu on the planet, that should have been probably around 10 ABY, which she should. It doesn't make sense entirely that she's now back to that, but it also makes more sense that it was closer to 9 ABY, which is actually where Mando season 2 ended, was around 9 ABY. So, of course, Favaro said it was between 0 and 2 years that Grogu was with Luke, which, going from that side, yes, I'm going on a tangent. Why would Mando be walking around with the spear on his back and the Darksaber for almost 2 years and his sect is supposed to be staying hidden. Don't you think that word would have gotten around to the rest of the New Republic that, hey, there is Mandalorians around here? What is going on? So I am going to err on the side that the actual timeline is 9 ABY, not 11 ABY, because, again, the conversation between Asoka and Luke has already happened. She should not have had that much trauma. She should have known that she is not, her legacy is not a legacy of death and pain. Death and darkness, basically. So I still want to see that conversation between Luke and Ahsoka, but of course we're not going to get it because of Disney reasons. So enjoy, have a good day, God bless, and to all my EBN fans, we are your Echo Based Network.